Okay. So I just want to share with you that the elevator pitch contest is really coming to you as a joint effort from the energy and ideas generated by the Industrial Liaison Officers Working Group. Over the past year or so, we have had a lot of conversation. In particular, I was trying to drag out of them, what are the review requirements that I need to give to my reviewers when they come out on the site visits that give them an idea, what should they be looking for to understand that you have or are in the process of nurturing a healthy innovation ecosystem. So we were trying to figure out what would be the leading indicators. Somehow or another we felt that the state of the students, their mindset, is one of the things that we should pay attention to, but we had a hard time figuring out how we might actually measure something like that. So we continued to talk, and then essentially we started to realize that the ability to communicate effectively and succinctly is a very important trait. In fact, I'm going to give you a quote from David Ogilvy, who's the father of modern advertising. I think it's very direct and to the point and relevant to us. In the modern world of business, it is useless to be creative or to be a creative, original thinker unless you can also sell what you create. Management cannot be expected to recognize a good idea unless it's presented to them by a good salesman. Okay? And in this instance, management is representative of your funding, your program director at your funding agency. It could be your dean. It could be your faculty member. It could be your congressman. It's a very important, the ability to communicate effectively to any given audience is a critical skill. And so we see that for the ERCs, the ability to create a nurturing environment where students naturally evolve in that direction, we see that as a leading indicator that the ERC is creating a healthier innovation ecosystem. But it's only one ingredient, let me emphasize, of the secret sauce. So we're still working on trying to understand what those other ingredients would be. Okay. I would really like to acknowledge Sylvia Miak. She is the one that noticed that there were problems within her ERC with the students being able to articulate what they were doing. And she started pushing for developing an ERC-wide contest so that we would be able to see some comparisons between the centers in the way the cultures are developing. The other wonderful ingredient here is Eric Ehrenreich. I'd like to also acknowledge him for suggesting a name for the trophy that we're going to give today and essentially making some hard arguments and pushing it through. And the rest of basically the ILO, the Industrial Liaison Officers Working Group, has selected the name for the trophy. The first prize of $5,000 is being donated by the Innovation Accelerator Foundation. John Pyrovalakis at the foundation donated the money. And today to receive the, to basically represent Innovation Accelerator Foundation and present that particular check is Tracy Hancock, which I very much appreciate acknowledging you. And then the second and third prize awards, which are basically registration and the ability for the prize winners to attend either an angel. They'll have a selection of conferences, either angel or venture capital conferences. Those were arranged by Richard Fox, one of the judges. He's not here today. He just left at 8 this morning. So I wanted to make sure I acknowledge them. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the SLC from Qualt, Portia. Portia Taylor basically commissioned the design of the trophy. And very, very gifted student, Garrett Grindle, actually fabricated this really beautiful trophy. And so we really need to acknowledge him. At this point, then, at this juncture, I would like to just turn this over to Tom so that he can finally reveal so this is the envelope. It's been sealed. You can
signed on the back. So they're just one envelope?
This has the name, so
okay.
open
I
it,
got you.
and
All
then
right,
you can
okay.
list out the names of the second, first, and
Feel a little bit like Vanna White up here.
second
But,
and third place.
okay. This is
Yeah.
what assistant directors at NSF do best, okay? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. How do you read this?
Start with the third place. So this is the third place. Second place.
I see, okay. Wow, only an engineer would design this. I think we need a business person to work on this particular. Okay, so I'm going to announce first the third place or second runner-up, and then the second place or first runner-up, and then the winner. All right, and as you come up, the students come up, I would ask you to do one thing. First of all, take off your name badge so that when we take a picture, we don't have all these little white name badges sticking in here. Are we going to do the photos as they come up? That's my understanding? Okay, good enough. So, I don't know, you're running the show, you tell me. Okay, all right, so here we go. So, third place, second runner-up from the CIIN Center. I'm conflicted on this. This is from my home institution, the University of Arizona. Aditya Asan. Aditya. Just found out that Aditya was an undergraduate at Tufts as well. So there's two of us who got engineering degrees from Tufts. Okay, first runner-up from the Mirth Center, Tracy Tsai. Tracy? So there's a slight catch on the first place winner. I mean, this is sort of a tentative first place because they have to come up and give their pitch again. And if you don't like it, then we have to vote it. All right? So first place. And before they get presented with all these goodies, they're going to have to come up and give their 90-second pitch. And that will be... And I'm supposed to remind the center director to come up as well. All right. From the RMB Center, Datren Chow.
All right.
Ready?
Every day, people suffer from trauma, accidents, infections, and tumors, which all result in a loss of bone. In addition, the population is also aging rapidly, which means that there are more and more people at risk for bone-related injuries. So, this, sorry about that, just a second. Oftentimes that these injuries require something to be put in to act as a replacement and support the missing bone. Just like if you have a pothole in the street, it must be filled in with new cement. Now this is a huge industry, it's called bone grafting. It generates over $2.5 billion in sales each year in the United States. However, current solutions in bone grafting have a major problem, and that is that the surgeon must take this material and shape it, size it, whatever it takes to get it to fit the complex bone defect site. And this wastes countless hours of operating time, meaning increased costs for hospitals, for insurers, and increased risk for the patient. This is where our solution comes in. We are developing MechGraft, which are custom-fit, patient-specific bone graft implants that are designed based on the patient's own CT scan to fit directly into the implant site without any hassle. They are made out of strong, biodegradable, porous, patent-pending metallic biomaterials which will disappear while conducing new bone to take their place, heal the implant as good as new. Thus, we provide the competitive advantages of improving patient outcomes, and secondly, reducing operating time, reducing costs associated with that, and finally, reducing patient risk. That is why MechGraft is head and shoulders above the competition in the multi-billion-dollar bone graft industry. Thank you. Here's my card.
So, do we give it to him? Is it? Okay, all right, good enough. All right. So as you know, the student gets $5,000 thanks to Innovation Accelerator Foundation. And the ERC in this inaugural award will get the first traveling trophy. And we hope that this becomes a symbol of prestige that all of the ERCs will strive for each year. And it's my pleasure to present this trophy, which by acclamation from the ILOs will be called the Lynn Preston Award. I tried to vote for the Tom Peterson Award, but it just, I couldn't get him. So, but it's a pleasure to be able to present this award, for this inaugural Lynn Preston Award. Congratulations very much.